It was a sour end to an otherwise successful weekend on the diamond. The University of Oregon baseball team built a 5-2 lead by the fifth inning, but blew it ultimately to lose 6-5 on Sunday to the Stanford Cardinal. Having won their third straight Pac-12 title, the Ducks will now host the Eugene Regional as the number 2 overall seed in the field. They will host North Dakota State, Fresno State, and BYU, who is coming to Eugene for the third time in 4 years. As if their recent run wasn't improbable enough already, the University of Oregon baseball team pulled off what could be considered a miracle this weekend. For the second straight day, they won in walk-off fashion in 11 innings against the number 2 UCLA Bruins, handing them their first series loss on the year. Another year, another super regional for the Oregon softball team, and another chance to punch a ticket to the College World Series in Oklahoma. But it's hardly routine for head coach Mike White.
Yeah, we do judge our program on that. Are we going to make the College World Series? I know that after missing it out against Nebraska, it was a huge letdown, even though we had a successful year.
Expectations are through the roof for a Ducks team that will host the upset-minded NC State Wolfpack. Both teams come in after sweeps in their respective regional brackets last weekend. And while the disparity between the two teams is glaring on paper, these Lady Ducks are fully aware of how closely matched they are with the Wolfpack.
They're really excited, just like I remember this program was when they first started making super regionals consistently. So I think our biggest challenge will just be to play our game knowing that it's their first time.
No one is more familiar with being an underdog than first baseman Haley Decker. In the 2013 Super Regional, she was playing for the Nebraska Cornhuskers and helped lead an upset win at Howe Field, shocking Oregon and snatching a trip away to Oklahoma. Now, 2 years later, she finds herself on the other side of the equation.
I'd try to drop little hints. Just remind them, every team's a threat, so you never know. And that's what's so great about sports. It doesn't matter who's better on paper, who's the stronger team. Anyone can win.
This is the Ducks' last chance to defend home turf, and not just any turf. This will subsequently be the final series at Howe Field before the Ducks move into the replacement Jane Sanders Stadium next season. It's the last in a lot of senses for this Oregon team. The last hurrahs at Howe Field, the last step before Oklahoma. But what the Ducks don't want it to be is the last time they play at all this season. For Oregon News, I'm Andrew Murray. Oregonians are finding more ways to fund their local companies and at the same time help the state economy. Last year, a new Oregon law passed making business investment opportunities available to the public. Hatch Oregon launched on January 22nd with the idea that the public could grow the state's capital via direct investments. The nonprofit allows individual investors to contribute up to $2,500 per organization. So far, more than $200,000 have been raised for the participating entities. One of those is Agrarian Ales in Eugene. The company sought a way to keep their business localized in the community, rather than finding an individual investor or taking out loans.
This was another option that we saw, and it completely ties into what we are about, and that's community-based relations. It gives an opportunity for our customers as a business to become part of the company.
Another Eugene-based company in Red Wagon Creamery took the same route as Agrarian Ales. Director of Sales and Marketing Stuart Phillips says that the company has already raised about 65% of their funding goals just 3 months into their campaign.
It seemed like this would be a good way to not only secure funds for expansion, but also to get a bunch of people behind the ice cream.
If you wish to donate to a company, you can go online to the Hatch Oregon website. When the road is giving you trouble, you always have home to come back to. The University of Oregon men's basketball team came back to Matt Knight Arena to notch a sweep of the Southern California schools. After struggling offensively on Thursday against USC, the Ducks came out on fire against the UCLA Bruins, at one point shooting 75% from the field in the first half, getting a 21-point lead and cruising the rest of the way. The Ducks also went 9 for 13 from beyond the arc, and 5 different players scored in double digits. Dwayne Benjamin, who had 15 points and was perfect from the field, attributes some of the renewed success on offense to much better ball movement.
Actually, at the beginning of the year, we thought we were moving the ball pretty well, and then towards the middle, we start pretty much trying to make a play by ourselves. And now as a team, we just talk about it pretty much every day, just making a play for somebody else. Last couple of games, we feel we've been moving the ball pretty well. But tonight is definitely shows that if we move the ball, everyone can make open shots.
It was arguably the most efficient performance offensively for the Oregon Ducks since Pac-12 play started. Head coach Dana Altman also seemed to agree alongside his players that ball movement was much better this game than previous games.
You know, if we trust our teammates, you know, we'll get good shots if we just work the ball, and we did that a good job tonight. That's, you know, I thought our shot selection was better all the way around. Guys were in the zone, would be open in the middle, but, you know, they'd hit the baseline cutter. You know, I thought they made some nice passes to each other. So, you know, I thought our ball movement was really good, though.
With renewed confidence, the Oregon Ducks will now look to take momentum outside of Matt Knight Arena and on the road against Arizona State and Arizona next week. For Duck TV Sports, I'm Andrew Murray.
Thanks for joining us here on Oregon News. I'm Mark Patrick Levis.
And I'm Andrew Murray. Lane County voters rejected the proposed additional vehicle registration fee Tuesday. 66% of voters turned down the proposal. Had it passed, county residents would have paid an additional $35 per year. The money would have gone toward funding road maintenance projects. With that revenue unavailable, the county is expected to cut certain road maintenance projects to stay within the budget. The Oregon Senate passed a bill yesterday designed to keep guns out of the hands of people convicted of domestic abuse or under a restraining order. This is already a federal law, but proponents say a state version of the restriction would allow state and local police to enforce the rule instead of just federal agents. There was much debate over the bill. Those against it say state officials could enforce the federal law without it, and that it further limits the Second Amendment. The bill passed 24-6 and now heads to the House. I'm Andrew Murray.
And I'm Matt Scotton.
Coming up on Duck TV Sports, Oregon softball is going to the Super Regionals. Plus, baseball is fighting for their postseason lives. Thanks, Aaron. At one point, the Oregon baseball season was a nightmare. The Ducks dropped 13 of 18 in March and April to put a fourth straight trip to the postseason in jeopardy. But the memories have been much sweeter of late, as the team has won 7 of its last 8, including 4 straight Pac-12 series wins. The team is coming off a sweep of Utah and Salt Lake City, in which the Ducks showcased possibly the team's best starting pitching all year. And in the process, Mitchell Tolman broke the all-time program record for doubles, moving past the previous holder, Ryan Healy. The Ducks face their stiffest test of the season with a 3-game set versus top 5 UCLA this weekend. And so, Matt, I ask you, with everything that this team has accomplished in the month of May, how do you see them faring against this potent UCLA squad? Earlier this week, Oregon became the 3rd state to ban gay conversion therapy. In the past, the practice has been used by social workers and therapists in an attempt to change the sexual orientation of children under the age of 18. Governor Kate Brown signed the measure Monday, according to AP reports. She is the first openly bisexual governor in the United States. California and New Jersey are the other 2 states that have already had gay conversion therapy bans in place. Washington, D.C. also outlaws the practice. And while the gay conversion ban goes into effect, the Oregon legislature continues to debate whether to amend the definition of marriage. Currently, Oregon's definition restricts marriage to 1 man and 1 woman. The AP reports that the proposed legislation would remove gender from the definition and allow any pairing of genders to marry. The plan is opposed by Minority House Leader Mike McLean. He's asking Oregon to wait until next month once the Supreme Court has ruled on whether same-sex couples have the right to marry. The push for a gender-neutral definition of marriage comes after the state's ban on same-sex marriage was struck down last year. A big change may be in store for the Boy Scouts of America. Scout President Robert Gates announced that the organization is considering a revision to its policies that would allow gay adults to serve as scout leaders. The BSA opened its doors to gay scouts in January 2014. Gates says any changes to the policy would take some time, but the issue is on the organization's radar. A cyclist was hit by a vehicle and injured yesterday evening on West First Avenue, according to the Eugene Police. The rider was taken to the hospital. Their condition is unknown at this time. Thursday's accident certainly wasn't an anomaly. In fact, every year in Eugene, a group of riders gathered together with the hope of raising awareness about the issue. The result? Perhaps the quietest bike ride you've ever heard. On Wednesday, Eugene residents participated in the annual Ride of Silence, an event that pays tribute to the bicyclists who have been killed or injured while on the road. About 30 bicyclists gathered to ride in collective silence from Bailey Hill Road to David Minor Theater. Eugene Mayor Kitty Piercy was among the participants. The event is organized by Marina Hayek, who started it in 2007 when her 10-year-old son was struck and killed while riding his bike. As part of the ride, the group passed by the corner of 13th and Willamette, which features a ghost bike honoring David Miner. Miner was killed at that intersection on June 2nd, 2008, when a car hit him while he was on his bike. Riders used Wednesday's event to honor and remember riders such as Hayek and Miner, who have been victims of bike-related accidents.
I think it's really important to have a ride like this that says, yes, bikes are fun, they represent freedom, but there's also issues that we have to deal with, and this ride highlights that every road user needs to take care out there.
Ride of Silence is an event that takes place across the country. The ride was one of many events around Eugene as part of National Bike Month. With Memorial Day fast approaching, some families were reunited with their loved ones once again. A Corvallis-based Oregon National Guard company returned home from Afghanistan Wednesday. About 50 soldiers from the Bravo Company were met by their families at the Oregon National Guard Armory in Corvallis. Bravo Company shipped out for a 9-month deployment in June of 2014. The company left as part of the Oregon National Guard's 2nd Battalion, 162nd Infantry. Most of the soldiers returned last June, but some, like the Bravo Company, had to wait until December. When December rolled around, their return home was delayed until now. As if the moment wasn't special enough, one corporal used the occasion to propose to his girlfriend. She said yes. Matt, it was absolutely paramount that Hovingay came out the way that she did on Saturday against the Bison. 6 innings pitched, just 1 run given up on that start. And as fantastic as Sheridan Hawkins has been, having depth in the rotation is incredibly important going into the postseason. Having an elite starter behind Hawkins will make an enormous difference as the Ducks move deeper into the postseason.
Given that, how do you think the Wolfpack's going to fare against the number 2 seeded Ducks?
The Wolfpack come in attempting to spoil Oregon's fun. The Wolfpack will be led by ace pitcher Emily Wyman, who has the enormous task of slowing down this Ducks offense. It's important that Oregon doesn't stay complacent with this competition. But with the way the Ducks have been steamrolling its opponents all season long, I don't see it being much of a problem going into the Super Regionals. Expect fireworks on offense and a deadly 1-2 from Hawkins and from Hovingay. In the long list of goals that the Ducks set themselves before the season even started, they've accomplished so much that 3 months in already. And now the Ducks look to check a few more of those boxes off on the list. The last one being a national championship. The first in program history. For Duck TV Sports, I'm Andrew Murray. Back to you guys in the studio. Well, that's all the time we have here on Oregon News. I'm Andrew Murray.
And I'm Mark Patrick Levis. You stay classy, Oregon.
Matt, I don't know about you, but that shot put form didn't look too clean.
I would make a joke, but my form is pretty bad myself. There's a reason I'm not on scholarship here for my shot put ability.
Well, that's all the time we have here at Duck TV Sports. Follow us on Twitter at Duck TV Sports. And don't forget to check us out online for news and analysis. We'll be taking a week off for Memorial Day weekend, but we'll be back the week after with everything Oregon sports. For Matt Scotton, I'm Andrew Murray. Have a great night, Eugene.